Brilliant. Okay. Welcome to the second episode of the After Party podcast powered by AFA. I'm joined by a close friend, Queensland Reds rugby player who just played his 50th cap, also CEO of the new clothes company, St. GUSTAF, which just had its release last night. How are we going today, buddy?
Good, Connor. Thanks for having me.
Come a little bit closer to the mic there. Mate, that's good to hear. Talk me through all this fucking COVID bullshit that happened in the last 2 weeks. Because, I mean, you'd played, was your 50th game against New South Wales, and then Sydney. You guys got locked in Sydney from there. Were you going like, oh, fuck, we're going to be stuck here again?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So we finished the game, and we got told, obviously we'd heard that there was a few COVID cases in Queensland. We were meant to fly back on the Sunday, but they said, look, we're just staying. We were actually at Parramatta Holiday Inn, which was... It's okay. It was not the best spot.
I'm sure those walls have seen some things.
Yeah, I know. But then we moved, luckily, down to Coogee, which is brilliant. Such a good spot. So went to the beach. We stayed there during the week, but when all the lockdown regulations came in, so the masks, couldn't go outside, we had to follow suit with the New South Wales government telling us.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really go to the beach, couldn't do much, stuck inside, which was pretty rough. You look outside, it's like hot chicks on the beach. And then, so we were unsure. We literally had a meeting the night before a game in the leadership group talking about what's the plan if we don't get allowed back in Queensland? Are we going to stay in Melbourne? Are we going to come back? Go to Manly was on the cards. There's a few places. And then luckily, COVID disappeared randomly from Queensland. So we luckily came back on the Sunday, we were pretty stoked. You might have seen a video the Reds posted.
Yeah, when you guys were all on the bus going
yeah, we're all busted after training. You heard that. It's pretty good.
And is that even getting in the way of you guys anymore? I mean, we went through the whole last year of pretty much having a whole COVID season, I suppose, where you guys were in the bubble for fuck knows how long. It was 9 months or some shit. Yeah. But is that the regulation of the team? Does it all flow a lot nicer now that you guys are already in that? You understand what to do in that aspect, the training and everything like that?
Yeah, last year was pretty tough. You said, we couldn't go anywhere. We're under Queensland government mandated pretty much home arrest, to be honest. So we had special consideration to go to training and home, and that's it. We couldn't go anywhere else. Couldn't walk the dog. Yeah, couldn't walk outside really, otherwise we're getting a lot of trouble. But this year it's been pretty good. Haven't really had too many restrictions on us. Just last week was a bit interesting.
Of a cock around.
Yeah, we wanted to get home, but had to bloody stay down the extra week.
Well, let's go back to where it all began, mate, where we met. We were just talking about it before. But obviously we met through being foes, I suppose, at school rugby. Yeah. But what I was going to touch on again was, I'm sure you've spoken about it a million fucking times, but the Churchy First 15 team that you guys were playing in. Yeah. You haven't actually had to really ever play in a shit team. You've always been killing it in good teams. What was that year like, especially having because you look at that team list now and it's all pretty much all pros and different codes. How was that shaping of that year, and how much it helped your footy and whatnot?
It's pretty crazy. KP, Jaden Sewer, Crofty. I can't remember the stat, but there's something some ridiculous percentage went professional 2 years out of school from that team. I guess that year was sort of when I decided, I was like, all right, I really like rugby. I want to do this for a job because, like you said, it was really good team. Made it really easy to play with all those guys, and you could see what those guys did on the field, and I was like, I want to sort of emulate that. I want to, push my body to the limit, see what I can do, see what I can achieve. It's actually pretty cool now. I ran into Jaden a couple of weeks ago at Fridays, actually, after a game, had a chat to him about that sort of stuff, reminiscing, but it's good seeing those boys kill it. Especially the league boys have been playing really well.
They're all going off.
Oh, they're ridiculous.
Well, even someone like Brodie Croft, if you remember, back at school and shit, when he was playing Queensland schoolboys and whatnot, he was I think he was starting 10 for Queensland schoolboys, but even then, he wasn't really the player he is now. I think he translates so well over in the league, and that was just it. I think that year was just a launching pad for so many boys there, because as you said, it only was 2 years after that until everyone starts blowing up.
Pretty much. I remember Crofty was super skillful, one of the most skillful guys I've trained with. I was like, wow, where's this kid come from? Because he came from Toowoomba on a rugby scholarship. I was like, this guy's awesome. So I remember at him, I remember Jaden Sewer just whacking people in training. I was like, oh my God, that boy can hit. And then KP, most training sessions would have just a touch game warm up, and he'd just be cranking people. You literally could not touch that boy. Ridiculous. And you see in the games now, he's just stepping professionals. it's pretty full on.
Yeah, dude, he's a freak. Because I obviously captained the most poo first 15 team of all time, and I remember
it was pretty bad.
So we had you guys for the last game. So that was like the last game, and then everyone was done. And I think you guys had already won the championship by that point. You were just waiting after you'd stomped all over us to get the trophy. But I remember we were all like, we're getting Kalen Ponga. Like, if there's one thing that's happening, like, we're shutting that fucking dude down. Like, I'm not being on that cunt's highlight reel.
Yeah.
And then
just crack.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter at all, bro. Like, made me look like a bitch in front of everyone. And then also as well, there would be times where you would shut him down, but then you got 14 other murderers out there just killing it. Like, even Harley Fox just booting it off the bloody kickoffs every single time.
Mate, he was awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Well, a couple of weeks ago, congrats. 50th game for Queensland.
Very cool.
How did that feel? So that was out at New South Wales, that's correct?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Like, to be honest, it came around pretty quick. I played 3.5 seasons with the Reds. And when I spoke to Tommy, our manager, 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Oh, mate, do you know your 50th is coming up in a few weeks?" I was like, since when? I thought I'd be a way off it, but it's pretty crazy now. I think every week for the next like 6 or so weeks is like a milestone week for someone.
Yeah,
so
hectic.
Me 50th, Hamish the week after in Melbourne.
Yep.
This weekend's Bryce Hegarty's 100th Super Rugby game, which is incredible.
And that even blows fast as well. Like, I don't think, like, in my head, I don't think about him playing 100 games like at that point. But
exactly. And you've got guys like Tatey's like on like 45, Rongers is on like 46 or something. Like,
everyone's just edging.
Back into this season, everyone's just going to get the cap. Like, it's awesome, and it bodes well for the future, right? Like, all these young guys getting these little achievements. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, like, it represents that whole mission of what I guess Thorny was sort of kind of do at the start. Because, like, I mean, I reckon even myself, like, I was looking at it, there was a lot of young players getting signed and whatnot, a lot of like question marks here and there. But I mean, now it's just like steamroll village, and it's showing because those younger players have actually come up through the ranks, and you are getting your 50th game and stuff by like 23, 24 and whatnot, and it just translates so well.
Tough few years, 2018, 2019.
Definitely. We'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. Another thing I was going to ask you, I'm not sure whether you guys did it this year, but just because of COVID and whatnot, but usually the Reds will go and do their army camp. Did you guys get that done this year?
Didn't do our army camp.
And I'm sure everyone was like, thank fuck.
Oh, we had the best replacement. I unluckily missed out because I was still in hospital with my knee. Yeah. Which sucks. But the boys went up to...
Was that from the uni game last year against East?
That was yuck. But...
That was yuck.
That was
Sniper.
I haven't finished it. That was
I don't want to watch that. I saw it in person. It was rank.
The boys went to bloody Fraser Island. And it was awesome. And they just had like... Just fishing on the beach. They're doing like drone fishing, they were telling me. Like someone would lift the reel up and
fly it out.
Drop it down.
Oh, yeah, that's sick.
Huge like trevallies and stuff. There was one that was legitimately like, I don't know, like 50 kilos. It was the biggest fish I've seen in my life. They were there for, I don't know, 2-3 days. Like,
because a few of the boys love all their fishing out in the Reds, like all mafia and shit. I always see them out bloody on a boat every second day.
Yeah, and the boys will have like 4-wheel drives, drive out there, like going on the sand dunes, driving around, being idiots, having a few beers. Like, it looked awesome.
So it was like from hell to a 4X ad or a fucking Great Northern ad. Yeah. But we'll go. So obviously, for those that don't know, you go to that army camp. Yeah. So that would have been last year, would have been the last one you did? Or maybe it was even the year before.
Yeah, no, so we didn't do it last year, 2020, because of COVID. But 2019, 2018, we did the hell week.
Yeah, so talk us through that. So, like, where do you go? What's it about?
Well, so the first one was in 2018, my first year. And, Thorny likes them because, like, league guys.
Of course he does. He loves pain and defeat in people's eyes.
All that stuff. The first one was at Inaugural Barracks.
Yep.
So it was heaps of fun. So we had a little captain's run, or a little training session at Ballymore, and we got on the bus and we were meant to go to like Sanctuary Cove. Yeah. What was on the itinerary. And
so you guys like going in blind. Yeah.
Was on the itinerary. I'm like, like there's a golf course there, we can go for a swim. Like, it's going to be sweet. Because they didn't really have too many items on the itinerary. We were it's going to be heaps of free time. Like, it's going to be sweet.
It's lost,
After a big preseason, we were like, this is chill.
We're chilling.
And then we get to the highway, turn off, and it's like turn left, like Gold Coast, like down to Sanctuary Cove. Turn right is like why are we turning right here? Take the wrong direction, and we're like, where are we going? Like, is this a surprise or something? No coaches on the bus, which was super sus. We didn't pick up on that at all. I was like, wait, where's Thorny? Where are all the coaches? And we pull up we're like, what are all these big fences? Like, what is this place? I don't know what it was. We pull up, and this like sergeant gets on the bus. He's like, all right, listen up. You fuckers are going to do exactly what I say for the next 3 days, and walks off. And we all start laughing, and we're like, is this guy taking the piss? Like, what's going on here? Bus driver drives through the gates, and we get in, and we see like these like military dudes like in formation, like 20 of them just standing there like staring at us. And we walk off, and we're like, oh, what's going on? And they're like, you have like 30 seconds to get your clothes off, get these bloody military fucking outfits on. Go now. And they do it, and everyone's like, sort of like, because we just started with
you have no idea. Yeah, you think it's just chill.
Yeah, we thought it was
these
a joke.
guys are like gun to the head shit.
Yeah. And we obviously don't get changed in 30 seconds because we were like, so blasé about it. Like, all right, get on the fucking ground, do like 100 push-ups, and we're doing push-ups, and it's like gravel, it's like burning, and so like, oh my god, we're actually getting like harassed here. This is fucked. So the next time they tell us, we get in the clothes, but there's no sizes, so boys are in like Nella's in like a size small.
Oh god, clothes aren't made for him in general.
And then legitimately, we didn't get our bags off the bus. Like half of us were dressed in like didn't have undies on, like had thongs on, didn't have runners, like had nothing. And so they literally from then. It's probably maybe like 2:00 in the afternoon. We got smashed. Like they just told us like do laps around these massive like circuits where they like the hangars where they hold all the big trucks. Do all these laps, do like all these push-ups, do like chin-ups, like do a bridge, and if you fall, like I'll scream at you and make you do like running up there and back. Like we did for like 4 or 5 hours. And then
there's a hike as well, isn't there?
There was, but that's just the first day. So the first like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but we didn't know how long we were staying there for because Sanctuary Cove was scheduled to sort of go like the whole week. We were like I can't do this for a whole week. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So the Monday we got like smashed with like all this fitness, like didn't have a moment to ourselves, didn't eat anything, didn't have lunch. Like we got starved pretty much whole 3 days, but I'll tell you that in a sec. So finish that block, have like a 10-minute break where we're like, okay, we're stuck. We're not going to Sanctuary Cove. So we can hit us after a few hours. And then it'd be like 6 p.m. And then we did heaps of training up till probably like 9, 10.
Yeah.
So absolutely
9, 10 at night.
Yeah. Like destroyed. And they're like, righto, go to bed. And they leave the hanger light on, and they're like, they gave us these little fold-out, little crappy little beds. Or whatever. And we jumped on them, and then literally went to bed, and then woke up probably an hour. We didn't know the time. No one had a watch. No one had a phone. Probably like less than half an hour later, we hear this like, this song, I can remember the song. It's like some screamer, like, why are you a telephone? Like screaming at the back of the truck. It's like on
imprinted in your head.
When I hear it, I get like PTSD. and there's like 10 guys running through, kicking beds and shit. Get the fuck off. Get your guns. Get over there. Because they gave us like toy guns.
We
had to look after them and stuff. Get in formation. And like, got forced to do like the whole day from whatever time that was, like 11:30 at night, through the whole night. The next day, hikes, running, jumping in the water, crawling for like a couple 100 meters in like ants' nests, like agility courses, like all of it, smash. No eating, nothing. Like they gave you a water bottle, which was kind of them, but the whole day nothing. And the same thing the next night, we'd hike up this big hill, camper, like set up camp, put the beds down. Oh sweet, I'm gonna get decent sleep tonight. Like half an hour later, just shooting guns, like shooting blanks, like shooting blanks at us and shit, and then. Like the screamo music and everything, waking us up, another massive hike carrying, like they had guys on stretchers, these big old military stretchers, and you'd get, like we chose to like Tatey to go on it because it's the lightest, so someone had to lie on it and 4 guys had to carry him. Yep. Like up these massive hills that just went for like hours.
No one would want to carry Nella, I'm sure.
And then they had like these big ropes you have to hold over your shoulder, you have to run in like a line sort of thing. So we did that, and then on the second night we got to actually eat, which was brilliant. They gave us
eat.
Which was brilliant. They gave us like a ration pack. And they're like, right, you have 10 minutes to eat whatever you want.
And like people don't realize, well, like you guys are eating a shitload in a day as it is like training and everything like that. You've just finished a preseason.
100%.
Like you guys need to be like fueling up and stuff. So when you just have like 72 hours without food, like you're shells of humans at that point.
Oh, that was tough. I'd always eaten like. To be in a situation where I'm not eating for like 3 days, I was like I don't know. I could die, but I'm not gonna give up. But
I remember I spoke to Will Eady down at UQ like right after, I think that was before he got the flick, and he was telling me he was crying just mentally broken down and battered.
It was so we had the ration packs, literally like we like everyone was trying to organise like so we'll split it up evenly. We're like. It'll be fine. Like we've got 10 minutes trying to split it up, and you see Nella in the corner just going, smashing everything as soon as he could. And then like, so we had that night. Next day, just smashed the whole time. Like, oh, so hard. And then halfway through the day, they made us do this like big obstacle course, and then we ran that around and we're like, oh, we saw the coaches and we're done. And then everyone had lost, like we weighed in, everyone had lost like 5-6 kilos from like water weight, like not eating.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Was there a game not long after that, or a bit of a split? Yeah, you wouldn't want to go. Yeah,
it was more like a mental test. The second time round, so in 2019 was a bit easier because we did eat more. Because like the S&C lost his mind when he saw guys like Rongers who just spent like months trying to put weight on, lose like 5 kilos, like 6
like
kilos.
that.
Oh, like, he was like, what? Like he has to play rugby.
Like, he's like, my whole fucking job's just gone.
The second time was funny though because we had like military webbing.
Yeah.
So just like big, like sort of like armor plated things. And they put in like it's like a drink holder on it. They gave you like a fresh green apple at the start. And they were like, right, like we want you to hold on to this apple and look after it for 3 days. And if it has a bruise on it, we're doing like 100 burpees or whatever. So they gave one to every like sort of squad.
Yeah.
There's probably 4 or 5 squads. And it was pretty funny because Nella again. Nella's such a culprit when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Because right at the end we had to get our apple out, and they were like all pretty good. They had like a few little bruises, but like, oh no, we won't penalise you there because it's like pretty decent. And Nella gets his out and he holds it really oddly. He holds it like that. And he holds it like that. He's like, yeah, look, it's perfect. It's perfect. And he's like, wait, can I have a look at that? And he lets go, and the whole other side is like eaten to the core. So he's just eating one side and just planned on showing that. So like, no, it's fine. What do you mean? What do you mean? So we had to do, like, I don't know, like a couple 100 burpees.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Nella. Nah, but it's pretty funny.
Bro, you just can't even, like, hold on. It's like, I need to eat this apple of all things as well. Oh, that's mad. This show is brought to you by our proud major sponsor, Bramont Watchers. Bramont is award-winning British luxury watch brand manufacturing mechanical watches in Henley-on-Thames in England. Co-founded by brothers Nick and Giles English in 2002, Bramont has made a substantial impact in the watchmaking industry in a very short period of time by making considerable investment in their UK watchmaking facility to be able to manufacture their own case and movement components in-house. The brand remains true to its original principles of aviation and military, British engineering and adventure, as well as manufacturing watches for some of the most exclusive military squadrons around the world. Bramont continues to play on an influential role in revitalising the British watch industry, the birthplace of numerous timekeeping innovations still used today. Bramont produce durable watches that look good in the boardroom and can survive the deepest oceans and the coldest of highest mountains, hence the tagline, tested beyond endurance. The brand is now in the top handful of chronometer-rated watch producers in the world. For more information, go to Bramont.com or visit Melbourne Bramont Boutique. So you guys are on an absolute murderous train at the moment, killing everyone in your path. I mean, it's got to feel good, as we were just saying, like you've been there in the shitters. It's sort of like similar when I talked to Ben Keys, like when he was at the Lions. Yeah. He was there for like the hard days, like the hard yakka days, and then they're starting to like come through good now. It must be a nice change, like to get back in the winning column there. Right. And I mean, you guys now, I'm sure there's got to be a lot of confidence with that as well, rolling into, I guess, when these NZ teams are coming into play. Because we're only a couple of weeks from that now. So is it this weekend's finals or the following? So
this weekend is against the Brumbies.
Yeah.
And then we've got, so just in our normal pool games, we've got Brumbies, Bye, and then Western Force in Perth. And that's all the regulation games. And then after that, it's 2 weeks of finals, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so it's still a way off.
Yeah, and then there's a week after that, and then apparently the New Zealand tournament's meant to start.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, like, your mindset on the whole Oz competition at the moment. Because, like, for me, last year when they announced that it was going to happen and when you guys were doing it, like, just normally last year, I liked it in the sense of, like, it's good to be able to get viewers and whatnot seeing wins happening again. And it also helps you guys also have, like, a predictability and, like, figure, like, know where you're at, basically. But there's obviously, like, the big elephant in the room as well as that. The guys across the pond are also killing it as well. They've played footy once or twice. They're
not bad.
They're not bad at all. So with that there, are you a fan of it? Like, do you think it's good to have that split there as well? Or do you like the idea of having Oz then the mixed one? Or do you think it should just be back all into it?
Look, I liked the domestic competition last year, I think, because they had to get something on the TV.
Of course.
It was do or
kind
die
of a year
there.
without it. Yeah.
And I was like, I was actually really surprised by how much I enjoyed the competition.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been a bit more like NRC, where
Yeah.
it's just like you travel around Australia sort of stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like almost like Aussie derbies every week, sort of added a bit to a bit of aggression.
For sure.
I thought the games were pretty solid last year. I think this year, I don't mind the setup, like the Australian comp first, see who's like the best in Australia, and then progress to the world stage almost, because like Kiwis, we know, are historically the best footy players.
Yeah, of course.
You want to play against them, right? So like
definitely.
our best versus their best is kind of cool. But I think long term, the best option, I do like just a straight Trans Tasman, I think would be really cool.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how that'd work out with like the 8 or 9 teams that would be in it, but if they had like a 16, because the super tournaments before were usually like 16 to 18 weeks, including 2 buys. If they had just like a straight Trans Tasman for like 16, 18 weeks, I think that'd be awesome.
And they make it a lot cleaner as well with all that travel to like
exactly.
Argentina, Japan, South Africa. Like they're the ones that are well out the way. Like the trip to New Zealand and back, like that's...
Yeah, it's easy. It's fun.
It's easier.
I quite enjoy it, yeah. I mean, there's talk of it's on the horizon, maybe like a world club competition in like 2022 or 2023. No one's really sure yet. I think that would
be like a wild card sort of system. Like if you finished in like the top 2 of your comp or whatever, then you go and...
Yeah, I'm not sure the specifics, but like...
That could be
wouldn't it be cool playing against like Leinster? Like,
all
those teams over in England and in Europe. I think it'd be sick. But for the time being, I love the Trans-Tasman model. I think it's really good. And like as Australians, we want to play against the Kiwis because like they're the best, and you want to play against the best.
I mean, like, I think you're right. And hopefully after this year, once they kind of get through this Australian comp, then also the New Zealand, they can figure it out. Because I mean, like that's what happens as well. Is like even when you've got a comp like this now, you're starting to see teams like the Tars and whatnot who aren't really benefiting. They're just getting they're getting bummed down. And it kind of, but it happens with every competition, I suppose. They're like the Norths of Super Rugby at the moment. But like that's like
good old Norths,
well it sucks and it's hard to bounce back from, especially when you don't have a variety of different competition and get dubs here and there.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, you got the Brumbies this weekend and also that New Zealand comp coming up. So yeah, back to that. I imagine it would be feeling like you guys are preparing and getting ready for them. Is that even a conversation at the moment, or is it more so just working on these Oz teams?
Yeah, no, to be honest, no one's really spoken about
looking ahead that
Super
far.
Rugby, the Trans-Tasman comp yet. I mean, it was good news hearing that travel bubble this week. It came out on Tuesday, I think. That was really cool. We're like, okay, well, that's a bit of like surety at the back of your mind.
Yeah,
to me,
and they had a case this morning as well. So
there we go. But for me, I wasn't even sure if that was going ahead, and I was just like thinking, well, let's win this Australia thing. That's like our goal.
Yeah.
We really want to stamp our mark here. Like we'll let the world stage come after. Like we want to
definitely
in Australia is definitely our thing.
Yeah, there's no point in looking too far
down
the track. And so we've obviously got the Brumbies this weekend. And I mean, you had a good win over them last time. I'm sure that gave a lot of confidence getting back over the top of them. They're obviously the biggest competition for you guys, like at the moment. Talk us through that grand final last year, and then like coming into that now. Is there does it have that sort of rivalry feeling between you guys and them at the moment, where you're like, I want to absolutely smash these guys?
Yeah, well, they're definitely our main competitors.
Yeah,
you look at the competition, like they're our boys. We got to verse them. We got to get over them. Last year in the grand final, we didn't play well as a team at all. Like we just didn't play well. We went down there and they dictated to us like the whole game, mauls, like they were counter-rucking us all day. So we didn't really get a flow on. I think we have more of that attacking flair. Like we've got guys like James O'Connor, Jordy Pateo who just break open the game.
The backline's
that's ridiculous.
So electric.
Oh.
Yeah.
And their Brumbies are really good at like their systems, like their set piece, they're solid as scrums and mauls. That's their platform. And they're well trained. Like they're a really good team. They are a really good team. So it'll be interesting this weekend to see. It's going to be a big clash because they've got a lot of their boys back.
Yeah.
Scott Sio, Alan Alatoa's back, Slipper's back. Yeah, so that's
huge. Yeah,
they're massive inclusions for them.
Definitely
weren't playing last time. So
but I mean, your set piece is looking really good at the moment. Yeah. It's a good time to be a fucking hooker at the Reds. You're scoring meaties about 4 times a bloody game, dude. It's a joke, bro.
Leading try score or something.
I think he actually might be now. I think he was like number 2 or something going into that game, and he scored 3 like in the one game.
Second half.
In the second half, ridiculous. But I mean, I can't see why you guys wouldn't be able to compete with them at all at the moment.
Yeah.
Bro, another thing I was going to talk to you about, some things that like people might not know about you so much, is that you're an absolute boy genius. Like obviously you've been studying, what is it, med since school, or is it the science before it? I always get mixed up.
So everyone goes, oh, he's doing medicine and playing rugby.
A scholar.
I've got to explain it because my mates who are actually doing medicine get grumpy at me. They're
like,
you're not doing medicine. How dare you? Preposterous.
Fuck those geeks.
I hope they listen because they often pay me out of it. But no, so what I did after school, I got into medicine through UMAT.
Yep.
Like the year 12 leaving exam. So I got in through that. So I got a guaranteed entry into med, provisional entry they call it. But at UQ, they changed it to an MD, which is a master's. So you have to do an undergraduate before you're allowed in. So most people usually just do like a 3-year science undergrad at UQ and then go straight into medicine after. I did a science commerce dual just because I didn't want to be like, science has always been what I've been most interested in.
Yep.
I didn't just want to be like a science geek, like a nerd.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I wanted to have a bit more like business nous, like learn about the world. And so I'd never really done economics, never really done anything like that, commerce. So
yep.
I thought that was really good. Plus my brother did commerce economics and he's a pretty smart guy. So I wanted
He's
to
a very
sort of
smart
like,
guy.
so I wanted to sort of like emulate that and learn a bit like that sort of content. So I did that. That was 4.5 years. I did that full time. So I finished that midway through 2019. Sort of took a break 2020 because I wasn't sure what was happening with COVID. Like, probably would have been a good time to study, but
there's nothing else to do.
I don't know what I did for that.
Gaming.
Don't tell anyone. And then I started my master's back end, so the second semester of 2020, because I spoke to the medical faculty. I was meant to start my medical degree straight after I finished my undergrad.
Yeah.
And I pushed it back till 2022, which is actually next year. That's just crazy. And they said I had to study something in the interim, so in that gap. So it was either to do an honours, which I wasn't too drawn, because apparently I was speaking to people about honours. It's more like you essentially just work like 9 to 5 without pay. Like it's pretty hectic, apparently.
Pretty dank, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really want to do that because I couldn't because of footy. So I started this this master's. It's a pretty pretentious name. Masters of Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
How innovative of you.
It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But I'm majoring in biotech, which is like pretty much combined commerce and science.
Yeah.
It's like biotech, right? It's like innovating and like commercializing how you capitalize on like scientific innovations.
Yeah, sick.
So I did 3 subjects last semester because I had a bit more time with super being finished, which I really enjoyed. I'm just taking one subject at the moment because I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Well, that's what I was going to get to is like that's the whole thing is like I hear people doing shitty degrees and like bitching and moaning about how they've got no time and how hard it is and all that sort of stuff. You're doing arguably the hardest degree or like one that takes up the most time and effort and whatnot whilst also playing professional rugby. Was that something that like for you translated very early on and like was it easy like to coincide those two things to begin with or like 'cause I'd imagine it would be ridiculous like your schedule.
It's pretty tough. Like I said, I did that undergraduate full time, so 4 subjects per sem, which was pretty rough. When it came to exam time, it was crunch time. Like I'd be in the change room studying.
Yeah.
I'd get home and I'd just study. Like that wasn't very fun. But I guess I was sort of conditioned to that because at Churchy, I went pretty hand with study as well.
Exactly.
I wanted to achieve something.
You're Ducks, weren't you?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be Ducks at the school. So I Ducks in year 11 and year 12, but that was because I'd literally play rugby and like sometimes at lunchtime I'd be studying. You can ask my mates at school that see me sitting there with a book like, what are you doing, mate? Come play.
Yeah,
I've got to study. I'll train after school. Yeah. But I sort of did that during school. Obviously school's not as time, like you're not as time pressured as you are at uni.
Yeah.
But I remember when I got out of school and started doing my undergrad, probably the toughest times were when I went away for those Aussie 20 Junior World Cup.
Yeah. Was that in Italy? Was that one? Or?
So no, that was the year before me. So I played in 2016 and 17. So 16 I was in Manchester and 17 I was in Tbilisi in Georgia.
Oh, that's right, Georgia.
Which was interesting. That was a cool spot.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's a very strange place to go to, like to host a World Cup. I mean, like, what was that like there?
Yeah, when I say I went to Georgia to play footy, I'm like, oh, in America. Like,
yeah.
I don't play footy there.
No, much.
Like Tbilisi, like as in like just below Russia, as in like kind of near Syria.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was like some sort of civil war there.
There was some stuff going on. It was scary.
So what was that like when you guys were there? Because I mean, like, was there an... So I can't imagine there's... Oh, God, I don't know what I'm saying, but I mean, I can't imagine there's that much going on in Georgia every year.
It's
but I mean,
yeah,
like, when you guys got there, was there that sort of like aura of like, okay, we've got the Under-20s World Cup there. Like, was there excitement or anything like that? Or was the general public sort of oblivious?
A little bit. So they're sort of like a developing rugby nation.
Yep.
I would say the year before in Manchester, there was definitely like a World Cup sort of feel to it.
Yep.
But Georgia was a very interesting spot, sort of like Eastern European meets Russia. It's like one street is like really cool European architecture, like pristine as you're like, this is cool. And then the next street is like rubble.
Yeah,
and there's like
an illegal poker pool game happening somewhere.
There's like old guys with like rakes walking around, and all these dogs just walking around like chewing on scraps. You're like, I got to go back that way. That was interesting. Getting a cab ride was like always weird because these guys just try and barter you, and they're like, nah, give me like 400 lari because their dollar is like lari.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a struggle every single time. But yeah, it was different. There was the one thing that I actually came away with from Georgia, the girls are like insanely good looking. Just quiet.
What about the men?
They're not at
no.
all.
So it's like
it's pretty interesting. It's like must be like a captive market thing because they're the only guys that are there.
Yeah,
and they're like big, like strong, like Armenian looking Russian dudes with like.
And then these just gorgeous women.
And these brunette, like crazy looking like women, and you see it like a tent everywhere you walk, and you're like, this place is unreal. Like, let's move here.
Did you guys have much freedom like when you're over there? Because I guess that's still the like at that under 20s level. I guess you're sort of like you're an adult and you're out of it, but there's still that element of like sort of like school trip vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where
like
it's
19,
like
18-year-olds.
Yeah. Like the coaches are very aware. Like this could go tits up if there's not any like shit going on. So I mean, I guess you guys would have so much more freedom now when you guys tour and whatnot.
I'd say it's pretty similar, to be honest. I guess our training schedule
takes up most of your time and shit, so you don't really
get 1 or 2 days off and we sort of explore, but no one really goes crazy because you can't really have like a big night on the piss.
What are you going to do?
You just wreck for the rest of the week, right? But especially in because we're in Georgia and we just weren't really sure of the customs and everything. Everyone was a bit like chill, didn't do anything too red hot.
Yeah, I guess you don't want
until the tournament was over.
It's not the place to slip up. Yeah.
As a team, we all went out after, but no, like there's some weird little bars and things we went to, but nothing too crazy.
Nothing crazy, yeah.
Because I didn't want to get attacked.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it was cool.
Now I want to go to bloody Georgia. Let's go. Rip it off.
Good spot,
Find me a wife.
Yeah, something different, definitely.
This episode of the After Party is brought to you by one of our major sponsors, the Lad Collective. These guys are good friends of mine, Billy and Ed Ovenden, down in Sherwood, starting up their own sheets business, and it's Sheets for Blokes. Basically, there's no better way I could describe it than that. They've got bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right tags on these sheets. They come in, I think it's 60% bamboo, 40% cotton. Absolutely great. I think you know about them. A couple of the boys down at the Reds have them.
Yeah, they sent a care package in. I know plenty of the boys have been using them. All the Reds boys got them on their beds, so get involved, eh?
Brilliant. Yep. And if you're a rugby player or any other dirty bloke, you need to get these sheets so those ladies start coming in. Rightio. If you want to find these guys, go onto their Instagram or website as well at www.theladcollective.com.au. Ripper. Well, bro, we'll get into last little bit that we were going to talk about, and it's awesome. I've been speaking with you about this since you've kind of like started getting it all going, but St. GUSTAF, your clothes company, where you're, I suppose the best way to explain it would be streetwear for rugby union.
That's it.
Would that be the best way to explain it? And they're dope. I mean, like it's sort of, it's completely untapped market. It's dope. And the designs are all mad. When did this start to become a sort of like, when did this enter your headspace of like, oh, this could be a cool idea?
To be honest, it was like I woke up on New Year's Day and I was like, what do I just make? I literally feeling really good.
Yeah, feeling magnificent.
I didn't drink. Not once. Not me.
Definitely not.
But I woke
up.
Yeah, legit. I woke up. I was like pretty hungover. I was just like pretty tired. Looking at my phone, I was looking at it like obviously because I've been a collector of vintage style T-shirts for a while, like Harley Davidsons, like vintage rock bands, NASCAR tees. Like I've got too many T-shirts to be honest.
Yeah.
But I was just scrolling through Instagram, the algorithm's got me. Like it's just recommending, recommending like buy this shirt. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty weak right now. I might buy one. But I was like, there's not really vintage T-shirts for rugby, and I was seeing a lot of like NFL, NBA, like see Spurs, like Lakers, heaps of those vintage on this sort of like grey T-shirt, and they sell like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's not really a space for rugby union here. I was like, well, I mean, I wouldn't mind trying my hand in that. And I was pretty heavily inspired by a few creators that I've followed online. So guys like Warren Lotus, who's in America, who's quite successful at what he does. He does a similar style. So he had like a little drop where he did like NBA players.
Yep.
And he sort of zombified them and made them look different.
Yeah,
So they were
sick.
characters in their own right, but then you double take and you're like, oh, hang on, that's like LeBron James.
Yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
And then guys like LeBron James, like there's one with Devin Booker when he
Yep.
took that final shot, like everyone's like, oh, that's Devin Booker, that's pretty cool. And then the guys in the NBA started wearing them,
Oh, hectic.
and everyone was like, oh, like this is sick. He obviously did some stuff before that, but that drop in particular, like sort of inspired me to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, well, what can I do? I could sort of outsource like a graphic designer, but I was like, I used to draw on my computer when I was a kid, so I get like a little pen display, a little
little
tablet,
iPad,
like an iPad, you
pen
plug
thing,
into your computer.
Nintendo DS action.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, no, Nintendo's just I used to draw. I used to be such a little geek when I was drawing. I used to draw like skulls and demons and dragons. I was really cool. Like when it was like probably up to be honest, probably up till I was like year 9. I do heaps of drawing. And then sort of had to drop that year 10, 11, 12, just because I had to focus on like getting good OP, doing like Suicide 6 sort of stuff, all those hard subjects, which is a shame I had to drop art, but I was like, why don't I just sort of rekindle that fire?
Yeah.
So I went and bought like a pen display, started doing some drawing, sort of thought, who do I want to draw? What do I want to draw? So I've decided, the first one I decided was like Geordie. I was like, I want to draw Geordie, one of my close mates. I was bouncing ideas off him. I was like, what do you reckon? Like, you think this is cool? And he's like, yeah, I reckon I'd back it, definitely. So I started drawing him, and I kept sending him photos and stuff. And that's
Show him.
yeah, I'll show
Grab
you.
that. So we got.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's the Air Jordan. That's
Air
the first
Jordan Pattaya, that is.
Pattaya, the first one I did, which is pretty cool. There's like, so I used a reference photo of him when he was debuting for the Wallabies.
Yep.
He's actually not.
Yeah, I know the exact.
Yeah,
I know the exact photo you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he's playing against England. He's doing this little hop skip, little steppy thing that he always does.
Yep.
I was like, that's cool. Let's put like a little skull face on him. Let's make it a little bit different.
Let's make him dead.
So it's not exactly him.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel super comfortable wearing a shirt with someone's face on it unless I love that person. You know what I mean?
You're a little bit like,
You feel a bit weird.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas this is a character in its own right. It's like Air Jordan, like that's him right there.
Oh, and the main thing that I personally like love about it all, and what I reckon so sick, is that like there's not much that you can wear as well, like, especially like a young person. I mean, if you're dadding out, you just wear your Island jersey or whatever the Sun Club every week.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like, you don't have anything that you can sort of wear. Like, I don't really want to wear a red snapback or some shit, or like as well buying like jerseys and stuff. Like, if you go out after, you're wearing that. There's no way to like represent your support and also still keep like casual and like have something that you can wear anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is mad.
It's like that streetwear, like you mentioned before. I wanted to make sort of a streetwear culture for rugby union.
Yeah,
I think there's so much growth in that space. Like it's not being done really for any of the Australian codes as much.
No.
There's a few people doing it for league now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for rugby union there isn't much.
Yeah.
And so obviously when I did Geordie's and I bounced it off him, I was like, this is cool. Got a sample. He's like, that's awesome. Like you should do more. I was like, I thought back. Well, the OG Reds 2011 when they won.
Shit,
Quade won. I was like, yeah, Quade Cooper. Well, like, what can I remember? I remember Quade Cooper. I remember Digby Ioane doing his little dance. James Hall lifting the trophy, all that stuff. And I was like, I think the most sort of like punchy, like sort of cool streetwear, edgy one would be Quade. Yeah, because he obviously loves that stuff.
His whole fashion thing
100%.
is like him in a nutshell as well.
100%. He loves his fashion. He loves everything to do with it. So I was like, well, him kicking. I was trying to get a flick, but I couldn't find a good photo reference for it. And I was like, maybe it's a bit hard. Plus, a lot of guys flick, but I got the back flip, which was like pretty iconic of him doing his little back flip when he scored. I don't know. I'll hold it
risky business as well, that flip.
Exactly. Like,
what if you eat shit?
After?
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't do it.
Is there any rules?
Even though I can backflip.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've seen you do it all the time.
Yes. That's pretty cool.
Are there any celebration bands actually now at the Reds? Like if you get a bit jiggy after a try, I reckon like Thorny might give you the backhand?
Yeah, I feel like you'd have a stern talking to Thorny.
I can imagine.
Like, stop carrying on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was cool, and I sort of expanded a bit on my concepts. Like I put all the games here as well, just a faint detail here. All the scores, where they were played, the teams that played, and then just to like sort of pay homage to the 2011 era, because I was sitting in the grandstand and I was like, this is sick. Like,
it's the dopest. Yeah, well, because we obviously had Anthony Finger on in our last one, and it's like the most nostalgic, awesome time as a Queensland Rugby Union fan. Yeah. And then you've got your last one, which I also reckon's fucking dope.
I thought, I'll show you the back first.
Yeah, of course. Get that detail in.
Because I like to do little skulls and stuff. Yeah, obviously, nice. Like sort of put skull faces on things.
Yeah, just don't buy a motorbike anytime soon.
Yeah, no. And then, got my little custom tag then, which is pretty clean.
Ooh.
Pretty nice, pretty clean, yeah. But yeah, so with the concepts of it, so I usually, if I want to like depersonify them, so just make them a character in their own right, like you said, I don't want the person's face blaring there. I'll do a skull face.
Yeah.
Make the skulls unique to each person and sort of like,
Of course.
yeah, suit their features a bit. But if I want to make them look like a sort of superhero comic character that I like, that they often have like a likeness with because of their gameplay or just what they look like I'll try and make them look like that. So that's where Nella came in. I was like, I wanted to be Tongan Thor.
Yeah.
But I can't have a skull face Tongan because that's just too many concepts.
And he's a thick boy. He's not a skeleton, you know?
Yeah. I was thinking like a helmet at first, but I was like, but I want people to know that it's Nella.
That it's him, for sure.
And just him.
And he's a person that I feel like you can wear someone like him.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
like,
He's pretty iconic. So Tongan Thor is the third one.
Ooh.
Third design. It's a bit
How good's that?
It's a bit scrunched up at the moment, but yeah, big old Tefeki Tupo.
How was his reaction when you got that one going?
Yeah, he loved it. I kept sending him photos throughout. I got a bit of hate because I gave him some abs, which he certainly does not have.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But I was like, mate, now that I've drawn them, you actually got to get them.
keg.
You got to get them, bro. Like that's like what your ideal should be.
Yeah, God.
Yeah. So now I've done like you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the paint on his eyes is what bloody Thor has when he's fighting in the Colosseum there.
Yep.
Bit of lightning as he's Thor, you know, the football and the hammer, which has got Tongan flag and a few little Tongan tats on it. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Just on the front of it, because it's like Mjolnir, the hammer that Thor uses, has like sort of like, you know, Viking theme, sort of like runes there.
Yep.
But yes, that's Tongan Thor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's dope, bro. So this is all. So you've got that all going, and you just dropped it last night. I'm not sure when this one will come out, but it was on Wednesday.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. 7th of April.
And these are all limited edition, yeah. So basically, you'll do the designs once. You hear us say you might bring one back, but if you want them, you got to get on them.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah,
get them all that hot. I grabbed my one last night. I grabbed the Air Jordan one, so I'll be rocking that bad boy.
Fresh, man.
Yeah, man. It'll be dope.
Yeah,
so
where XL with those pipes? Don't do that again.
My spherical body. Brilliant. So where can everyone find those suckers?
They can find them on my Instagram. I have a link to my website, which is www.saintgustav.com.
Saint Gustav.
With an F on the end. Gustav with an F.
Brilliant. All good. Even if you're struggling, just find old Scotty on Instagram anyway.
Angus Scott-Young, and then it's linked on there, and then Saint _.
We'll chuck it up as well for you.
We'll just link it in.
They'll find it.
Yeah, well, I've sold probably just over half of them last night, which was hectic. Like, I had no idea. I knew there was interest.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that would convert to sales.
Yeah.
Everybody would be like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not going to spend
like
much
impulse buy and like stuff. People back out all the time.
Yeah. So it was the first half an hour was sick.
Yeah.
I felt like a millionaire. We eating well tonight, man. We eating well. I was like, and there was this ding, 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 purchase. And then it slowed down a bit, obviously today, because it can't go on forever. Which is a shame. I would love it if it did. Yeah, it was awesome. I've sold heaps of t-shirts, and even if I have a bit of extra stock, I'll just hold on to them. Like, it was a bit of a learning curve anyway. I wasn't sure how many to actually get for the drop.
All that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. I'll leave the store open for a week or so, see how many orders I get, and then we'll start shipping them out, which is really cool. And I want to see people at Suncorp wearing them. That'd be like the ideal. Like, if I'm running around, and then after the game, I go sign some t-shirts and stuff, and then I see people wearing my t-shirt.
Oh, bro, if someone's signing, if you get a signed
signed Saint Gustav.
Gustav shirt.
I even practice a Saint Gustav bloody
Gustav.
signature.
Yeah.
Just draw a little skull on them.
Yeah.
But no, it's really cool. And then, like,
are you looking at branching out at all to like other areas yet,
Definitely.
or are you just sort of sticking Queensland for the mo?
I wanted this first
Obviously,
one.
you dropped it yesterday, but like,
Yeah. I wanted this first one to be Queensland based, like people I know that I'm comfortable chatting with, like ex-teammates sort of stuff, just to get it up and running, get a bit of an excitement in the Queensland, market, which I think is awesom.
Yeah.
I can celebrate Queensland rugby. It's been a massive part of my life. But for future plans, I want to do some more Queensland boys, but I want to branch out and do like a few different guys from different teams. I don't just want to do just singular guys. Like, I want to do like what I'm call like generics as well. So it's like something to do with the team itself. So like Queensland Reds, you could do like sort of like a logo, but like make it a character itself. I've got a good idea for like actually the Rebels, which is pretty cool. Like obviously Melbourne Rebels, like gunslingers sort of stuff. You could do like a cool character like that.
Yeah, don't tell them all your secrets, but
I won't tell them. But
if you steal it,
it's fine. It's already in production.
Yeah.
But But like, yeah, I want to do teams from around Australia. I'd love to do some stuff from New Zealand. Like New Zealand teams, I'm sure they would love that.
They are gonna buy the shit out of that. I saw a Hurricanes championship one not long ago, but yeah, that stuff.
Yeah,
well, rugby union as well. Like, this is the market. This is the stuff people wear that play anyway. Like, 100%. I mean, I own a shitload of those sort of vintage ones, and now I've got one that I can actually rep the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah,
I think, and then I also think a little, not a competitive advantage, but something that makes my t-shirts unique is I know a lot of vintage t-shirts have like the photos they'll use, and they'll put like a vintage wash on them, and then put like champions or like blues rugby sort of stuff, like that stuff. It looks really cool. I do like it. And it's that's more of like a Photoshop, more of an editing, whereas mine is more like an actual
design. Yeah,
they're originals. They're all originals. People didn't believe that I actually drew them.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know either until I saw like the actual like sketching works and whatnot.
That's why I had to draw. I wanted to put online those like progression shots.
Yeah,
the process I've been calling them.
Yeah, yeah. Like, actually, those are sick
from the start.
I see what you mean. Yeah, because these are like legit, completely authentic. 100%. It's not just Google fucking images. Yeah, if you Google image, you can on your shirt or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. I want it to be more special than that. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's like my artistic flair imbued in with like iconic moments in rugby is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes my brand pretty unique. And like I've got heaps of ideas. Like I have like a list on my phone that I just keep scrolling. There's so many ideas. I want to do guys over in Japan. Like could do stuff over in like England eventually. But there's some key guys I want to do in the coming months that I sort of know. That'll be big for me. So I've sort of started roughly sketching out what I want for them, which is cool. And I've been chatting to them. I've been like, would this be something you're interested in? Like, I'll send you some free t-shirts. Like, be really cool if you want to get involved. And they get a cool t-shirt out of it. So I think it's like
and they get to be put on a t-shirt. Yeah, it's like sick, like in itself. Yeah,
in that sense. Yeah. So I think it's really exciting. I'm not sure when the next one will be up. I'll just keep plugging away, keep doing a few illustrations. But yeah, very exciting. It's something that I'm pretty proud of, even though I only launched last night. So it's cool. And at the end of the day, it's a good business experience for post footy as well.
It's like it's when everyone talks about like when they're getting out of uni and stuff like that, and they work at a job and they learn 6 months worth of like study or whatever in like the first day. It's like like that as well. And so you just throw yourself in the deep end, you just learn it all, and it's just going to get better and better and better.
Very, very busy, a lot of work, but yeah, like bodes well for the future. And I guess my degree is entrepreneurship, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and innovation.
And innovation. You can say it's a little bit innovative and a little bit of entrepreneurship. But yes, no, it's exciting. I'm keen to see sort of where it goes. Like, could be very cool if it ends up getting quite big.
Mad to have a good side gig as well, especially if your 100%. Study's ending next year. Then you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I've often sort of wondered, like when I was just doing footy and study, I was like, is there anything else that I sort of can do? Because I felt like I'd literally just be on the field training, off the field studying. I didn't really feel like I was like super balanced in that sense.
For sure. You need a bit of a creative outlet. And like something just a bit different. Like it's even with me doing this shit. Like, I mean, it's everyone can go down like the normal path always and whatnot, but it's always good to have something that you make yourself and do a little bit different.
100%. And like paint the ball, like doing a few different things. The t-shirts are obviously my main selling point, but then I wanted some auxiliary stuff to sort of promote it. So the footy, I got this footy a while back, and it just was like, hey, let's paint on it. Let's see how we go. Bit of a skull and put my logo on there, and I've been painting my boots.
A bit of memorabilia action. Oh, I saw the boots. Boots dope.
I didn't bring them. They're bloody wet at the moment, unfortunately. They're pretty gross. They stink out the studio. But yeah, I've been drawing on my boots, which is cool. I'm just figuring out like the formula to keep them on. Yeah. I think I've figured it out now. First time was pretty good. Second time was terrible because I came straight off because I used a different varnish.
Yeah.
And like you almost use like, it's like a nail polish sort of like sealant thing. So it's like quite heavy duty. And the third time I did it, not too bad because I played the Sydney game, got stuck there, so we had to train in them, and they actually like held up all right. So I've drawn like...
Oh, you wore them in the game?
Yeah, I've been wearing them every game, yeah, and I'm gonna keep painting on them, and my shoes will probably end up looking like a bit of a sketchboard.
Yeah. Any of the boys asking for their own ones?
Yeah, well, I painted Murphy's.
Oh, yeah.
Because his boots, he was using some Adidas, they're like red and blue sort of colour, so I painted Spider-Man's head on one side of it, and then like a web with Spider-Man's logo on it. I was like, that's pretty cool. It came straight off. It was the week where everything came off because the varnish for some reason didn't stick very well.
Temporary tattoo.
Yeah, well, but mine are pretty good. They've stuck on. I did Venom because he's probably one of.
I saw that one.
Probably say Venom's one of my favourite like cartoon characters. Because sort of where my art style came from, to be honest, is all the comic illustration
yep.
that I used to read as a kid. I used to read Phantom comics. I don't know if you heard of them.
Bro, I used to love Phantom. Phantom is underrated now.
It's unreal.
I don't know why. I'm pretty sure they're actually making a Phantom movie.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We need to go.
Just in the jungle, we're
go.
going.
But like my dad collected them, so we have like thousands of them. And
Yep.
I used to read them like every night. And I used to have a massive appreciation for the art. Like I had these guys draw so many bloody little figurines.
things,
Like
yeah.
this would take ages. So I like the style, like the flat saturated colors, like the cross hatching is really cool. Like I think it's just a nice style. It's what sort of shines through in my drawings. But I guess that's why if I don't do a skull face, I like to do like those cartoon comic characters, like superheroes, anti-heroes, all that sort
Yep.
of stuff. And Venom's my favorite. I like him, Eddie Brock. Cool character.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. It's sort of
It's
in
an
a
interesting character.
In a weird way, it's not. I don't think it's arrogant to say, but it sort of has parallels to me in the way that he has sort of like an alter ego himself.
Yeah,
Eddie
yeah.
Brock and Venom, whereas like it's like me and GUSTAF. That's sort of what tied in. Why I was like, I want to adopt that, even though the original story for GUSTAF was just like some gaming. It was my
Yeah,
gaming.
yeah,
It was
that's your
my
gaming tag.
I was like, whatever, whatever. But I think
Maybe we'll see an Angus Scott-Young Venom shirt.
maybe
You're like,
down the road, that could be cool. But yeah, I quite like him. But I guess I probably should tell you the original story. So about GUSTAF.
Yeah.
GUSTAF Labatch is the original, like the full name of my alter ego.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
GUSTAF Labatch. Bit weird, but I can't remember what my name. I was probably like 8. As you've hinted at throughout this whole podcast, I used to be quite a gamer. And still am occasionally.
Used to.
I swear I do it as much. I don't know. I was like 8, and I was like super into COD, as like every other kid was. And they got hacked one day, and I couldn't go out for a week, and I was like depressed. Like, what am I doing in my life? Why am I so sad as an 8-year-old? And then got on, and it had all been hacked. Like, I don't know how to describe it. My name was GUSTAF Labatch on my username. My profile picture, you choose like profile picture on your PSN.
Yeah.
It used to be Crash Bandicoot, of course.
Of course.
Some anime chick, like like a naked anime chick. I was like, all right, I didn't do this. And like my mum was looking over my shoulder. I was like, but ever since then, I've just sort of kept GUSTAF Labatch. And I was like, it's kind of cool. It's got a ring to it. And it's similar to Angus, right?
Angus, yeah,
GUSTAF.
Gus, yeah.
So I thought, I was like, that's pretty cool. Thanks to the hacker, wherever you're from.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Now I can buy a shirt, you loser.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. And the Saints just sort of like, because I draw skulls, a bit of like an oxymoron.
Yep.
But it's catchy. I thought like,
I like it.
yeah, I wanted it to be sort of names like Childish Gambino, like Tyler the Creator, like weird.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy? Tyler the Creator, like Childish Gambino. But it's like, it's catchy, like Saint GUSTAF. Like, I think it's kind of cool.
I think once like people get used to the brand and whatnot as well, it'll just be another name, you know what I mean? As in like,
yeah,
it'll fit in well.
I don't mind it being different. Like, they're different.
No,
styles,
it's sick. Well, it is a completely whole different market and everything like that compared to normal clothing. So,
Yeah.
right, murdering it. Well, I think that's all we've got there now. Well, thanks for coming on, bro. We've got the Brumbies this Saturday at Suncorp. So, yeah, go check out Angus play there. Cheers for coming on, mate. And as well, back to St. GUSTAF. If you want any of his clothes, want to check any of it out, go on to the Saint_GUSTAF with an F at the end, Instagram. If not, go to the website, www.stgustaf.com.
Well done. Great
Ripper.
plug. Great
All
plug.
good.
All good.
Cheers,
Thanks,
dog.
Thanks for having me.